Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Devin and I are doing a discussion over Apex Legends.
Apex Legends?
In my new house. What's that, Pa? The board game, which no one was asking for. No one was like, man, where's the Apex Legends board game?
I mean, hey, it's
there's
an IP existing. We should make a board game of it.
That is true, that's true. But thank God it's not by Steamforged, because this game would be way worse. No, this is going to be an interesting discussion. Mainly because we have two completely different backgrounds with this game. You being someone who has never played the game.
Nope.
And me who has reached the tier of Apex Predator. I know I fucking have it. That's like the top tier.
Is that Apex Predator?
I think that's what they call it. Or maybe that's what they call themselves, and they're just sweats. sad sweats. But I have played Apex Legends. I'm way behind the curve. I don't enjoy first-person competitive games because I just get my ass ate. But the reason why I backed this game originally was mainly because I was like, well, I'm bad at the video game. Maybe I'll be good.
Maybe better.
At the board game. So this is kind of fascinating because we have played this game multiple times now. The very first game, I was like, I don't know, like, I like it, but
very slow.
It's very slow. But then we tried it, again, now that we had learned the rules and stuff, and it was like, it definitely went a lot quicker. Like,
oh, yeah.
The turns, I was like, oh, okay, woo. Because if it was as slow as it was just naturally on the first game, I'm like, fuck this. I'll get back into the video game before I even touch this game again. So Devin, what did you think of Apex Legends?
What did I think of Apex Legends? Well, so you're the Apex, so you're the top legend. That's who you are. You're the big dog legend.
I don't know
of Legends. You are Apex.
I don't know what the theme is. I think it's like a game show. Is like the theming of just in an arena killing each other.
Let's see. So we have a storied past. We've tried several skirmish games. You certainly have.
Yeah.
Provided them for us. And we've had a rough time with them, getting them to stick.
Yeah. There's like two that we enjoy: Six Siege and Mythic Battles.
Yeah. So they're kind of rough for us. This one, I'm on presentation.
Yeah.
I like the setup.
Yeah.
I like the cardboards. I mean, yes, they're a bitch for storage.
Yeah. Some ass tier storage attempt. It's like, look. They tried to fill it all into one box. How about you just don't and make two boxes?
Yeah.
Instead of me having to pull out every single building, and whenever I have to set up the game, it's 45 minutes. That's very annoying.
Yeah, I feel like these kinds of games, the shooters, 3 dimensions helps quite a bit. So I appreciate that they added that,
and it actually comes into play a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's not just this doesn't just look. It's not for show. It's not like, oh, this looks pretty, but you can really hit anyone at any time.
Yeah.
That is not the case. It is very methodical on tiers and zones you're in and placement and line of sight. Like there's like 3 pages of line of sight examples because it matters.
And that's always a pain. First few games trying to learn that. You have to refer every single time. Let's see here.
Not a lot of keywords. That was nice.
Not horrific. No, we have recoil stability. Line of sight, I don't know if that's a keyword. Push.
Yeah.
Ordnance.
Ordnance. And a lot of it kind of boils down into this doesn't have a meaning in and of itself. It's just if other cards refer to it, like Gibraltar's dome. It mentions ordinances and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Play style, let's see. It has a good feel. The movement feels very slow. I know we played opposing teams. This was the recommended first game team comp, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Your team and my team.
Yes.
Both. So my team doesn't move very much.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Movement is very anemic in this game. Your characters didn't struggle as much. You had quite a few free action abilities that let you move a little bit more.
It is interesting. The base movement as an action, because it's very tight in action economy. You get 2 actions and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, I would like to move. Okay, you can move 2 spaces.
Yep.
And they're like, well, you can move diagonal and stuff.
You get 1 shot. At most.
And you get one
you
shot.
You don't get any more than that. If
Yeah.
you get a single shot.
Yes. If an ability gives you, if a card play gives you a shot, that's your shot.
That's it.
But I think with the movement, it made me nervous with the, because it's like you can move diagonal. And any game that lets you move diagonal, at this point, I'm like, okay, so what's the fucking point of even having movement? Just let me go where I want to go because you're going to let me. Surprisingly, this game is not like that. They have a lot of like edge cases on, oh, if you're moving between two buildings, that you can do that. That costs 2 movement points, though. It's your whole turn is to squeeze between buildings. You want to go around a supply crate? Well, we have to kind of extend it to see if there's anything else there. And if there's not, then you can move diagonal past it. So they did a really good job, I think, of the diagonal movement portion. But if you do not have any other ability that gives you extra movement, like Wraith's Dimensional Rift lets me get a move 5. She has cards, that's Blink. Hey, go to a free space 1 to 3 spaces away, and then move. If you don't have any of that, you're some fucking guy in a wheelchair in the desert that's like, how do I even get over there?
You're something. That's
Because climbing one zone is like your whole turn.
Yeah, that's
Like,
like
just
you
to
can
go-
do 2 if they're right back to back, but that's
Yeah.
it. You're done. You're
Yeah.
winded. You've climbed. You're done.
Yeah. And when you're comparing it to the video game is so fast paced. Like you're running, it's just like
Oh, you have to. Yeah, they have to be.
just going down on people. But I guess that would help. I will say I feel a little bit better with team comp in this. Something that always bothered me about regular Apex, and again, I'm not an expert in the video game, but I came to Apex from Overwatch. That is all about team comp and team synergy. And Apex Legends felt like, well, we're 3 people on a team, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Here, I actually felt like they melded a little bit better. Our very first game was like, there was a moment where you really had the push, and I'm like, I just can't hit you, and if I can, it's not going to be great. I can't seem to do any damage. All right, I have to retreat. I have to back up to where you can't hit me, and maybe I can get better gear. And then that got me to have Wraith and Bangalore next to each other, where she could pop off her rifts, and it's like, oh, now I can get into position with both of them, and that helped. I felt it kind of turned the tide. But yeah, movement feels not great if you are the one that can't move.
No. And I guess like
Cooldowns feel slow too.
Yes,
like-
cool. It's like you get like 1 ultimate a game.
Yeah.
You get 1, maybe 2, assuming you used it immediately.
Right. Which again is kind of what felt with.
I mean, they're free and they're powerful abilities.
which is nice. Like I like that they're free. It'd be way worse. Oh, well, actually, not all of them. Her Dimensional Rift is a action point.
Yeah, but it's also combined with 5 movement.
5 movement and a cooldown of 2.
Yeah.
So my cooldowns were 2, but they weren't as impactful. Yours were. I mean, you were definitely a lot more hunkered down. Which again, with the characters and their innate abilities in the board game, lean yourself to kind of prefer certain guns over the other. In the video game, it's just it doesn't really matter. It's just what gun I like.
Right.
Here, it's like, well, I'm really quick, so with Wraith, I kind of prefer a shotgun. You know, I mean, again, it's not like you're meta into being like, she's the shotgun girl. Any gun still works perfectly fine, depending on how you just want to play them. Like, I could play Wraith as a sniper to get, with a pistol, get in, shoot, and get back out, and then be in sniper position. But shotgun with her doesn't help, because I can move 5 spaces, and I'm like, hello!
Hey, I'm right here. Yeah. Yeah, no, when you move super fucking slow, you're going to use this goddamn sniper rifle.
Yeah.
So I can actually shoot past
Which
the
was
spaces.
funny, because the way we set up was, like, all snipers. Like, every single one of us had a sniper. But that brings us to firing. And they went a completely different route in the way you shoot. I'll let you take the wheel.
Well, here. We'll just cut right to the chase. I got one-shotted.
You did.
Then their second game.
Yep.
After what was the slog of a first game.
Yeah, where
we're like, well, no, you got a solid first hit in the first game too, where you did almost 40 points of damage.
Yes.
But then I struggled to deal damage. You struggled to deal damage from then on.
Yeah.
Where we're doing like little bits of 9 or 8, maybe a 6 here.
Yeah, if you're not getting multiple hits, then it's like you're chinking, and then you kind of have to be like, oh man, I hope they don't have any shield cells, and they don't, thank God, so now I can start doing health damage, which is the video game. The video game, you can have 1 million shield cells and constantly recharge your shields, but it's a lot quicker in the video game.
I mean, so this game uses a deck with a varied value based on like the stability of your weapon.
Yep.
Starting at 0, so essentially you have a goal number of like 50 that you want to draw, that you actually hit. Different symbols on the cards that can then modify it. So if you're higher, that one's definitely going to miss. Or if they're behind cover, this one guaranteed misses.
Yeah.
Or if you get 2 of this symbol, it's a free shot.
Yeah.
Of course, varied. The more you're shooting, your recoil is affected, and it reduces the accuracy. So if your goal number is like a 50, you draw a couple down, and then if you're like the negative 10s and it would have hit, it may not anymore.
Yeah. Which I really like in theory.
I mean, it's nice, but it's no different than dice. You're shuffling it every single time.
Yeah.
You drew like 3 headshots. You drew like 2 headshots, and you had actually a headshot doubler ability.
Yes, yeah.
Which did allow you to one-shot my hunky tank Gibraltar character.
It made it even worse because you happen to have the card that was like, hey, -10 to headshot damage.
Right, and then you used your ability to cancel out my reactions. So, perfect counter. That's fine. I have no complaints, short of just, this is like any other dice chucker. You know, I mean, you've had those complaints with what was it we played last? I keep forgetting the name of that goddamn game.
Aristea.
Aristea.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's after that. I'm like, have fun. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But just understand that you're. It's gonna swing. You could be one shot and obliterated.
The deck does not change the randomness. It's not like, hey, we solved the random problem. No, because you almost have a 50-50 shot every card. Like, on average, your modifiers are going to be...
I didn't go down and look at the actual percentages.
Your modifiers are around 50. And there's 20s and 30s in there, depending on... I mean, what's really cool about the deck, and, I think why the deck works so much better, at least a little bit in dice, is because you are gearing up your guns.
Yeah.
So, the being able to... Because what would be kind of annoying... At least in Apex, because Apex Legends is all about getting a stabilizer, a magazine, a scope, and a stock that you can put on your gun to modify it. That allows you to kind of kit out your guns a little bit different, which just would not work in dice. So with the deck, that's kind of where the numbers actually matter a lot more versus like, oh hey, here's my gun, my longbow DMR rolls 5 dice, I hope I hit. Here it's like, oh, I have stability too, so I get to go further back, and now you're range 5 or more, so instead of 55 it's 50, and on the first hit it's 6 damage. But again, all that being said, I still think the deck can lead to a little bit more saltiness. Because you do way more steps versus just being like, oh, okay, my gun rolls 5 dice, let's see if I hit. Boom, grab the 5 dice, yada yada.
Yeah.
Here it's like, okay, I'm shooting you. Let's check range.
And it's like you could have like what was it in that first situation? Like I was a little salty in the first scenario because I had elevation and I had cover, both negating effects.
Yes.
Within that deck. And you just drew 2 headshots,
right?
And were within your damage threshold, so I was just done.
Yeah.
So I just took 40 damage despite doing everything I could for negation.
Right.
So that I was just a little pissed.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the first game?
The first game.
Okay.
So I mean, this one I didn't have cover.
Yeah.
But
it was just okay.
It just happened to be a fucking one shot that I did not anticipate.
Yeah. No, I didn't either. My starting weapon was because some of the guns come, passively enhanced.
I mean, it's cool that that's in the game, that you can one-shot headshot a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's
because I'd rather have
good.
that.
That's nice to have. I'm not going to argue it. It doesn't feel good to receive it.
That's
I'm sure
true.
it felt great one-shotting.
Funny enough, no, and well, not because it wasn't like cool that I one-shot. It was more of the fact that I had done so much math that I couldn't really enjoy the one shot, yeah, it was like, okay, I made sure, okay, so that's that, okay, so that's 4 hits, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, 18, that's 58, oh, and another 18 on top of that, and yeah,
Well,
yes,
some people enjoy that.
well, because they don't have any fucking friends. They're like, I like that. So I'm like 72, yeah, 72 damage, and then let's look over, and it's like, oh,
Yep.
all right, yeah.
Even with my enhanced armor, that was a one shot, and my epic helmet, because your headshots were above 60,
yes,
had no effect.
yes.
So
Yep.
good stuff.
It was you moved up, Bangalore finally went, and then just popped him. And in the mode, it's like, okay, you're trying to get a certain number of victory points, certain number of kills, that it's like, in any game, like, it's almost like, can we just restart? You won. Like, I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to start, get a little bit going. The silver lining to that is, unlike the video game, there's no loot drop. There's no loot crate that I can run to and steal your helmet and your armor. There's no, Bloodhound now has to run over there to grab his dog tags and run to a respawn point and get him back, and you start off with nothing. There's none of that. You keep all your stuff. Your next turn, you spend 1 or 2 action points to come back. So they cleaned that up, because if it was like 100% like the video game, you probably would have scooped. Where it's like, okay, you killed me first round, and now he comes with nothing, and yeah, it's just 1 versus 2. Because that's the battle royale portion of it. So I like the victory point element. I like the fact that you're still penalized for respawning by having to spend 1 or 2 points, but you can still come in and maybe still get a shot off.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't like some big hurrah of like, yeah, like 70 points of damage. It was like, okay, so I did all that. But the opposite of that is even worse a little bit, because it's like, let's say you do everything. I'm going to play this card to enhance headshots. I'm going to do this, and I get perfect position, and 20, 20, 20, miss. Cool.
Exactly. The same thing can happen.
Yeah.
Just like, you came in, melee'd me out of my shield bubble, me, the tank,
Yeah,
into my own
so
ordnance.
frail.
And then I come in, try to do the same goddamn melee, and get
miss.
nothing.
Yeah, somehow you could.
So, yeah. Cards weren't going my way.
Right. Yeah. And again, because it doesn't have the quickness of dice, where you can kind of immediately get over it, you have to methodically shuffle the deck and be like, all right, and I don't know, it takes longer, so the success or failure sets in even worse. I feel like. Not saying I don't like the card system, I do, and I think it works really well for this game, but
I mean,
it like, if I was on the receiving end, that would just be really fucking annoying every time, being like, oh nope, 30, miss. Because it's like, oh, hey, 50. Oh, nope, I'm on the minus 10. Yep. Now it's 40, and my threshold's 45, so miss.
Yeah. I mean, come in, it's a fun skirmisher. But just, there is random, and it will get you.
I do like the fact that not, like, only one card in that deck is like an auto miss if they're higher. There's not, like, a ton of symbols on those cards. It's just more of, like, hey, there's a chance that those cover cards come in, if you're behind cover, that they might make you miss.
Yeah, I think there was, like...
3?
2 or 3.
Yeah.
How many are there in the whole deck? There was only like 4. There's 4 headshots.
Because I know there was also a moment where I think it was 13, 14, it was Bangalore.
So 14 cards. 4 of them are headshots. Let's see here. How many cover cards?
I think 3.
No, only 2 cover. Only 2 cover cards. So you have a 1 in 7 of being benefited by your cover.
Because there's also a moment where Wraith was shooting Bloodhound.
So what was this one? The green down arrow?
It's an automatic hit if they're lower than you.
If they are lower than you.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
So there's only 1 of those.
Okay.
2 of those, actually. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The auto miss, if they're above you, there's only 1 of those.
Yes.
And there's 3 of the half shoots. Of the half shots.
Because those are all on the 20s.
Yes, those are all really low numbers.
Which, I mean, based off, builds and stuff, you can get your stability down to 20, most likely, and so the number might still help you. But on the off chance that you draw 2 20s, it's not like, oh, you just missed. You still get a free hit out of that.
Yeah, and several abilities will reference them on the actual characters that it can be modified to guaranteed hits with some characters.
And that's also something that's really cool that you don't really get to see a whole lot in the video game, is that you actually have feat cards. And that helps. That makes it really cool because there's a lot of reaction stuff that you can do for your squad mate. There's reactions that you can do for yourself. And just innate abilities that make your character feel more unique. Not saying that you don't feel different in the video game, but I think just having the deck of cards for your own legend definitely helps a lot. And there's not a million of them, so you do get to kind of build out your squad on who you want. And they have like player aids that tell you, oh, Wraith is a skirmisher, and she tells you kind of what she's all about. Bangalore is an assault, and it also tells you their difficulty. I don't know how they determine that, but it is nice to be able to kind of be like, oh, Wraith, in the video game, Wraith would pair really well with this character. Or, I really like the tankiness of Gibraltar, but he's fat and slow, so I'm going to pair him with Wraith, because she can pop him in with the rifts. Pop him in with a rift, and he runs through and does that massive, push that collisions them for 12 damage. Again, being a board game, it's way slower. So it's annoying if you finally do some damage and then it's like, yeah, I did it. And then on their very next turn, they just go, oh, shield charge, boop. It's like, it took me fucking forever to do, 20 damage, and now it's just right back. I will say, the first game you're going to play is going to be rough. It's going to be long and waste a day, it feels like. But on repeat, the game is actually rather clean. Once you kind of get through that, and then it's like, oh, okay, boom, now we know what we're doing. In terms of major dislikes, I think I don't really like the rule book. I think it's very difficult to fight in skirmish games. There's going to be a lot of edge cases, and you want clarification on that. It took us forever to even find out if a scope replaces your innate range, your optimal range, or if it just kind of gives you a modification, which we finally found out that it's like, no, your range is still 4, like the R301 carbine, your range is still 4, but
if they're within this range.
Yeah, then you get a modifier. But if they're still at 5, it's like, okay, instead of plus 10, it's now plus 5.
Yeah.
And then just like keywords like fucking, they use neighboring and adjacent, and it's like, okay, those sound literally the same. So can adjacency go above, like up a zone? Can neighboring go up a zone? Because Wraith's Dimensional Rift says, oh, when you go through, go in the neighboring spot. It's like, well, the portal is on zone 0, but so can I go out of it and go on a building? I guess neighboring, it says neighboring, so I can. It is neighboring.
Right.
I just don't like that. I don't like not having a fucking glossary. Or they do have a terminology, but it's half-assed. It's like, why don't you have
definitely
all of them in there?
Need that, especially with these kind of games.
And because the game is so new, I think they have a Discord, which is probably much needed.
Yeah.
For a game like this.
Yeah. Speaking of dislikes, I don't like the respawn mechanic.
Like that you have to go next to a...
I mean, I don't like that it costs you an AP.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because, again, if you're respawning, you're losing.
Yeah,
you're gonna
that's
keep,
true.
and now you have less action economy, and you're going to keep losing.
That's true. It does add insult to
injury. So there is there's no bounce back there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because it's like, well, I just died. I mean, you don't really lose anything on dying. It's not like you're completely wiped. You get your full shield back. Well, you get 20 shield back and then 40 life. But then you lose a point. You have to go to a respawn beacon closest to a squad mate.
Which also could be, outside of the barrier, another negative. So then you have to run back with your single AP.
Your single AP, yeah.
Which, in my case, is 2 spaces.
Right.
Unless
you hold on to cards. Because, to be
the
fair,
cards do let you rush.
Only once, though, because you can only play 1 card to rush.
You only play 1 card to rush?
You can only rush once per turn, so you can't you can't sandbag all your cards and just be like, I'm moving 8.
Let's see. But again, that's just 2 negatives. I mean, I guess there has to be some punishment for dying. But I'm like, you're dying, so they're winning, so
Not necessarily, though. I mean, depending on the mode you're playing, it could be to a certain number of victory points that it's like, well, I only have 1 victory point. Chances are that you turn the tide. Yeah. But, I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from on, well, I just died, and now he gets to come back, and now I barely get to use him before it's your turn again.
Now I'm in a suboptimal position with, reduced energy.
Yeah.
And I have to run back possibly.
It just occurred to me, the reason why they have you spawn next to your squad is their version of the dog tag. That, oh, hey, I revived you. I brought you back. Because, again, in the video game, you have to go grab their thing and then run to a respawn point, which may or may not be outside of the ring. Sometimes in the video game, it's like, hey, I know you died. There's no respawn beacon inside the ring anymore, so you're out.
Yeah.
At least in this game, you do get to come back and have a chance of continuing to play versus because we're playing, obviously, 2 players controlling 2 legends. They want you to play 1 legend as 2v2, that it would be even worse. That it's like, great, I died, and I just have to sit here in a slower version and potentially sit for 30 minutes while the game goes on. I do really like the fact that you get to see how the ring's going. Because, again, in the video game, you have no real knowledge on how the ring is going to close, except there are these beacon things around the map, and certain characters can run up and activate them, and they actually can tell where the next circle is going to be.
Oh, okay.
They completely removed that from this in the sense that everyone gets to see how the ring is closing. And it's a threat, but it's not really a threat. It's like, oh, I'm outside of it.
Yeah, push it closer together, make it fight.
They're going to make you fight, which is nice because the damage of being outside of the ring is direct health damage, and it ramps up. And as we found, being able to push is actually very helpful because it's like, I'm going to push you outside of it because it's my turn, your next turn, which hopefully I do it in a position where, it's about to do an intermission. Although I think blue team has the advantage of that a lot more. Red team gets to go first, but blue team goes before the intermission. So if they can push you outside of the ring, they're going to take damage. Yeah, I mean, overall, overall, I think the game is good. I wouldn't be like, this is the best skirmish game ever made. I think it captures the video game pretty well. They kind of did what Six Siege did and removed the rigmarole of what you do in every battle royale is spawn with nothing and then rush to a location.
Yeah.
They kind of do that ahead of time because there's 3 phases of oh, okay, so now you're gonna pick your you're gonna pick your legend, and then you're gonna do your loadout where you just draw stuff from the bag, and it's like that's them basically simulating. Oh, I already rushed and grabbed my weapons. And then now we're dropping onto the map, which again, I think we got the clarification on the map where it's like you have to go at ground level, but I think it's kind of stupid. Where it's like, oh, map drop. Why can't I drop on a building? So I think they're trying to make it to where it's not like the beginning of a match. It's like we're already kind of in it with our stuff. I do like the fact that you kind of get a bonus. Like you get to pick your movement and potentially a loot as well as a epic gear.
Yeah.
But where you go is where you're going to spawn in, and that could be really important to where you're at. I do think as we changed up the way the map is, I think that actually played a huge part on the layout of the map. So, and there's tons of them in the match setting. If you get the board expansion, board 1 expansion, which are what all these tiles are, you can play on large maps to where they're just huge. So that's pretty cool. That include a lot of different types of equipment you can interact with.
Everyone's making snipers.
What? Everyone's just getting snipers. So, I think it's good. I'm not funny enough, I don't think I'm wowed by it though. I'm not like, man, this is it. This is the skirmish game forever. But I'd probably put it up there with Six Siege.
I don't know if I'd put it at 6 Siege level. A little bit lower for me.
Yeah.
Because I know 6 Siege was fun. Remember enjoying that one.
No, Six Siege is really good. But I think it's kind of funny enough the opposite, where it's like dice in that game really feel bad because your health is 4. So it's like, if I roll shitty and you don't, he's dead. I guess I don't have a guy anymore. Here, it's like, I mean, at least I get to keep playing. Like, if my people go down, you weren't, like, if this was 6 Siege and it was turn 2 and I just kill one of your guys, it's like, okay, great.
Well, I mean, 6 Siege, I mean, I like that it lets you do Overwatch.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like might be missing here. Or at least to me, where you can pause, just post up, and essentially have a reaction prepped for someone moves in your line of sight, thus locking out your opponent from moving in that direction. Or if that's the only way they can approach, they're gonna have to eat bullets for it.
Yeah, this definitely feels more like a skirmish type firefight game. 6 Siege feels more like a chess like attack defend. And again, both of those games are wildly different from one another in video game form. I'm not knocking Siege at all. I'm just talking about the combat specifically is can irk me a little bit in 6 Siege if it's just like, yay, you keep hitting, and there's nothing I can do because my guys are apparently made of paper. A one-shot in Apex Legends is unlikely. That was like best case scenario. So it just depends on where you're going for. To be fair, Glass Cannon Unplugged is a much better company than Mythic Battles. Not Mythic Battle, Mythic Games, because they didn't come around and ask people for an extra 600 to get their game.
Yeah.
But I definitely have both, and I would play both for completely different reasons. But I would say even still, both of them are below Mythic Battles, like Pantheon or Ragnarok. Like, that game uses dice in a brilliant way. So yeah, like, this one's good. I think the hard part for me with this one is setup.
Yeah.
Like,
these look like a pain.
I mean, they did, honestly, the best that they could. I was really hoping, because what they did, it's a double-edged sword. They have these dioramas for each character, each legend, which is really cool. Like, here's Bangalore's with her smoke, herself, and then her Rolling Thunder. That's awesome. If people painted these, that's sexy as hell. I'm not painting these. Maybe I'll have someone paint them. I don't know. It depends on how often I get this played. But the problem is there are other characters whose shit is so loose in those that it's like, okay, so I got the lid on, and they all fell in the diorama. Or, even if, they're not that finicky, they're going in a box that you're going to lift up, so it's like, why even have them when everything in the fucking thing is, it's like, I'd rather just be way more organized to just turn around and be like, boom, here's your stuff.
Yeah.
That being said, they had the miniatures in those vacuum inserts. But you take the minis out and you put them in that. I'm like, cool. With the vacuum inserts coming out, I wonder if they're going to have room for these buildings. Nope. Every single game, you're popping these out, and like, which they're only 2 pieces. Like, it's not like it's a million thing, but like, I'm sitting here. I mean, this is not me doing a bit. I'm actually trying to get these out. Okay. These are folded, so you have to unfold them so that they are flat and flush, that you can pair them and basically shove them onto the side. Now, the type of these doesn't matter. You just need the size. They do have a pairing, like these walls and this ceiling do technically go together, but it's like, I just need a 2x3, 2x3, this one, boom. But I don't know. I just don't like the fact that I have to fucking undo them and store them, and then it's kind of a pain. I wish they would have just did 2 separate boxes. Like, here's the box. Here's a regular size box for the components. Here's another regular size box for the dioramas and the buildings. And also, these are neat in theory. The supply crates that actually open. But for some reason, they didn't flatten the bottom wide enough, so whenever you open it, it's just like they fall over. It's like, okay. Like, that's just annoying. Other than that, that's really the only fiddly part of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I would play it again. They have 12 legends in the game. They are pretty much up to the point where I stopped playing Apex consistently. I have played when There are like 2 other characters that I'm aware of, and I've tried them, but I know they've announced or they've released more for the video game.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like with Six Siege when Steamforged took over, and they're like, hey, an expansion, and it's actually, I think it's every operator up to date. I think there might be, I don't know how often Six Siege is pumping out updates. I don't play. I'll play Apex Legends 9 times out of 10.
Isn't the one thing keeping what EA or not EA but Ubisoft alive?
Six Siege, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, people are still buying Assassin's Creed because they're sad. I don't know. That woke garbage game. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it might. Now, to be fair, after we had played Six Siege, I was watching a Six Siege tournament, and I was like into it. Like I was like, man, this is actually exciting.
Yeah.
But then they had like it was a an esport, so it's just people sitting at a computer playing, and they had the people in the crowd were like more excited than sports fans. I'm like, what is going on?
You shot him!
No, you fucking got him!
Shoot his bitches!
But it was impressive. And then I turned right around and watched an Apex Legends tournament. And I was like, this doesn't do it. This isn't as good. I think again because Six Siege is so precise. It's just like and peek and got him. It's like, oh my fucking god. But I think I will be keeping this one. Maybe. We'll see. Because I kept Six Siege, even though I haven't played it in forever. We'll see. We'll see. And it depends on the vibe, depending on what we're feeling. But oh yeah, I was talking about Legends. So I think with the Six Siege expansion, I think they're all up to date. I am very curious if Glass Cannon Unplugged is going to do the same with this one. I would hope so.
Yeah, keep it.
I mean, why pay for the IP and do this massive production if you're only doing 12 Legends when, I don't know, maybe 6 more are out?
Yeah. And that's just expansion content. That's easy. Cheap.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, tariffs aren't
Free
fucking...
money!
Tariffs aren't fucking anyone
Yeah.
over. Like,
The whole industry isn't collapsing.
yeah. So, I would hope so, because I know the other 6 that are, Octane, Revenant, Loba, Caustic, some other people. They're really cool. Huh?
But for?
You say but for?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, but for's in there. I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank on who the other
Updog?
Yeah, Updog. All those well-known characters. I would hope that they would continue to support this with all the Legends because that's just, you gotta, if you're gonna take the IP, might as well keep it up to date. Anyway, with all that being said, Devin, what is your ranking on a scale of 1 to 10? 4.
I like it better than some that we played. I don't know. I'll give it a 7.
7? 7.
I'll give it a 7.
You want to give it a 72 for that one
Maybe
shot?
a 6. Yeah, maybe a 6. Yeah.
He got one
I'll
shot,
give it a
so
360 for that no scope.
He was upset.
Yep. It was like, I was just like, that can happen in this game. Okay.
All right. I don't want to play anymore, but I came here to play this, so I guess I'm stuck. Yeah, because I pulled off the one shot, and it wasn't even close. I wiped the floor with you. It was amazing.
Yeah, you out-strategized and skilled me the whole fight.
You're fucking trash,
You just
dude. It's a skirmish game.
Had me on the ropes.
It's a competitive FPS shooter. I need to be super salty, or you need to be salty, and I just need to be an asshole.
So salty.
Fucking noob.
Yep.
When do you think the Fortnite board game comes out? When do you think they start
They're already
doing...
drowning in money
That's true.
because they captured the child audience
that's
that are
true.
just they can't.
No board game company could afford because it's like you need to get all the IPs. That's true. That's why Smash Bros doesn't exist. It's like no company can afford all those IPs.
Yep.
And Nintendo would just be a Nazi about it anyway. So. Funny. So you gave it a 6. Final answer. 6.
I'm torn between 6 and 7, 6.5. 6.5. I'll give it a 7. I feel like I usually rest at 7 for games like this.
Yeah?
I will say 7.
Okay. Funny. That is exactly where I'm at too. I think this is a good game. I think on it depends on how often I want to play, because I can only play these with you pretty much. You're the only other person that like, because it's like, not that this game has like a rules overhead to it. It's not like I'm front loading you and just like drowning you in information. But there's still a lot of nuance to it, and you have to have people who enjoy these kinds of games. So it's like they're few and far between, because they're either too random or they're too shitty, or they're whatever the reason for skirmish games might be. Funny, I mean, the great thing about this one is I felt like I had control and agency on everything I was doing. I enjoyed the spatial awareness. I enjoyed upgrading the weapons, even though going to it, deciding, when to reposition, how to position, even though, like, when you play these characters, you see how they can synergize well with all the other legends. So there's a lot going for it. I don't hate the deck system. I just think it's a lot more... It could feel really bad, and because everything is so mechanical, and the only thing you can blame on randomness is the deck, it feels bad if one person keeps drawing bad and one person doesn't, and it's like, hey, it's like I'm very aware of how the game is going right now, and because it's longer, that just feels bad. So
yeah, I mean, that much. Yeah, you gotta be fast.
You really do.
If you're gonna, that kind of random eats speed.
So, and just the way that they have the deck system, you can't just be like, okay, draw 4, boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe over time, that is how it goes. You eventually learn, like, okay, I know exactly you're in my range. Boom, it's 40. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And that's 2 hits. I will never play this game enough to ever get that way. So, I'm at a 7 right now. It could... I think max this would be an 8. Like, I can't ever see this hitting 9.
No.
And I think 6 Siege is... 6 Siege is, I think, also kind of at an 8. 7 or 8. I don't remember. And Mythic Battles is at a 9. Those are the 3 skirmish games I got that I can think of that are in my collection for 4 skirmish. 4 score. I don't keep a lot of them. I always like to try them. I always like to try the 1v1 card battlers, and I like to try the skirmish games, and I'm either disappointed or I'm like, this one's alright, but it's not as good as the ones I have, so I'm not keeping it.
Skirmish games, yeah, they always look good.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on Apex Legends. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.